Hey guys, welcome to the Driveway Liberty Podcast. First look of the week for our Patreon supporters and for regular folk on Tuesday. I am your Uncle Wes, and I'm sitting here with my good friends. To my left, we've got Dan, the Dolphin Man, Matichero. What's going on, Daniel?
My Sunday attire. Dolphins won again. Got a little sketchy early on, but they took care of business.
Well, that's good.
All right.
Good to hear.
Yep. Jets lost, and now they're right behind Buffalo.
All right.
There you go.
I don't like to hear that, I guess. Not really.
Yeah, you
Doesn't
hear.
affect my life at all.
Let me check and make sure we are live, boys. And across the table from me, we got my good friend.
Well, we're not supposed to be live.
We are live, but we're unlisted, and then we post it on Patreon.
Oh. All right.
A little behind the scenes info for you,
Right.
Patreon listeners. Get a little
Yep.
insight into.
Yeah, I had a pretty interesting weekend. Played in a golf tournament. Brian Jordan, celebrity golf tournament. So obviously I was one of the celebrities.
Obviously.
You know, with folks like Mark Rippon and Brian Jordan and Jim McMahon and Andrew Jones. You know, I was probably 8th biggest celebrity there. So.
Right.
Jim McMahon barefoot.
Always. And he hits the crap out of a golf ball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that was fun. Yeah, missed the Halloween party because I drank too much playing golf.
Nice.
Can't fault you there though.
But I partied pretty hard yesterday, but not near as hard as Paul Pelosi likes to party.
He likes to get hammered.
He likes to get hammered. So I think it's funny the way that story first came out. It was, of course, it was some kind of right-wing blah blah, right?
Right.
Now come to find out it's a male prostitute at 2 a.m. and can't imagine the Pelosi's security system can be thwarted by what appears to be just a moron. So
None of it makes sense at all, unless it was a male prostitute.
yeah,
So when Nancy was out of town, right?
I'm sure. Yeah.
And Paul said, "Hey, listen, I got some free time. Let's call up the hemp clothes making,
Right,
BLM loving, LGBT flag
right.
outside his home. I guess this guy is a baby daddy and lives with the wife and the current husband, the underwear guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's got like I think 3 kids with the lady
Uh-huh.
who's married, and he lives with them and the kids.
Nice. Nice.
He's a
nice.
right wing,
Yeah, that's California.
Violent.
Yeah. Mhm.
MAGA
Right.
country loving guy.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of crock of shit.
I've seen pictures of it. Somebody, and it may have been faked, but I've seen pictures of the dude's house, and he had like a pride flag and a BLM banner.
Oh, yeah.
Was that
That's
actually
not
his
fake.
house?
That's his
Well,
house.
he's registered Green Party
Yeah,
in California.
So he's
that's
far
his
left.
house.
Yeah.
That
Is
is
what's
his
going
house.
on with that.
Well, him and apparently his baby mama and her husband and his 3 kids.
So he's living with his baby's mama,
Who's married.
who's
Who's
married.
married to somebody else.
This dude's a real fucking winner, isn't he?
Yeah. Well,
And he's a nudist, apparently.
did you see a nudist protester is what? Did you? The memes were freaking unbelievable.
Man, they
all
were
day.
gold.
All day today. They're gold.
There was one. I guess there's a pink hammer that's actually a vibrator. The handle is kind of rounded, and it's got the little controls on the side. Somebody posted that on Twitter. It's like
Look,
Paul got hammered.
I'm not trying to be judgy, because I think it says in the Bible, let he who has not got into a hammer fight with a male prostitute at 2 a.m. cast the first stone.
Right.
So I don't want to get too judgy sounding here, but I think I got a lot. Paul Pelosi likes to party.
Apparently,
He likes to get drunk, wreck Ferraris.
apparently,
Have random nudist male prostitutes at his house.
that's just the whole thing is insane, and it's so bad that they have to they got the media running front and center for them,
Right.
talking about this like some GOP violence. It's a Republican's fault. Like, it's literally the opposite of that. It's your fault that you invite a male prostitute into your house
Right.
when your wife's out of town, and he attacks you.
Well,
What did he attack him for? Did he not pay him? How did the cops get called? Because he didn't attack him until after the cops got there. And then there's a broken window where the glass is broken out.
Right. So, yeah.
And apparently somebody said on Twitter they recognized the doors. Like, there were, I guess, patio doors
Right.
that swung out. So somebody said if that would have been him forcing a hole and pulling the glass out to break in, well, when they opened the doors, it would have slid the glass out of the way.
Right.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, you got all the sleuths on Twitter,
Right,
you know, trying to
Right.
figure
Justify
this
it.
thing out, trying to figure it out. No, there's people on both sides, kind of.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean, all right, you would imagine that the husband of the person who is third in line to the presidency
Would have a little better security than
would
that?
have a little better security.
Well, apparently they have 6 dogs. And there's like multiple systems at Gaetz, and like I'm putting it all together, and this doesn't seem like a evil genius
Right.
that somehow broke through all the security.
it's the opposite.
Absolutely ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous.
So,
It's a ninja assassin.
It's just like that Carrie
Freaking
Lake thing
tidy
where
whities.
her opponent's campaign, I don't even know her opponent's name.
Is it Hobbs? Is that
I think so, yeah.
yeah.
broke into her
Somebody
office?
broke into her campaign office, and then Carrie Lake came out and did that press conference. Did you see that?
Yeah, she said she's got the actual candidate on camera shuffling around.
You didn't watch the press conference because it was somebody in a chicken suit. It was a photoshopped image. Carrie Lake was making a joke. She was saying, "Look, y'all didn't verify this story. Y'all just ran." She was bashing the media.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all just ran with this story without verification, without investigating it. Y'all are leftists. That's what she called every one of the people at this press conference.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all ran with this story without verifying a thing. She came out and accused me or somebody from me speaking for Carrie Lake, of breaking into her office, and y'all didn't contact me for details. You didn't ask, and you just ran with this story. That's irresponsible. So I've got a story I want y'all to run with that has just as much credibility. I have Hobbs herself breaking into my campaign quarters this morning, and here's an image from the security cameras.
So I watched it, but I must have I don't know.
And it was a picture of
Tuned out.
somebody in a chicken suit, and she was pointing out
it was
that
like 35 minutes long.
yeah, it was long,
Yeah, I tuned
and
out.
she said bullshit on fucking
Twice, she said
twice, yeah.
bullshit.
So you got to get. I mean, she was tearing them a new one, man.
She scares the shit out of them.
As well, she should.
Beautiful.
It was like we were talking about before Travis got here. All right. I'll tell you off camera what led to this, but we were talking about, just give conservatives an even playing field in the public eye, in the media, in wherever. Give them a level playing field, and let's see whose ideas went out. But that's not what the left wants.
No.
Well,
'Cause
they
their
can't.
ideas
They
are bad.
know
They
that their
can't.
ideas will not fucking win.
They can't.
It's all this covert, obscure, obfuscating. I almost said it right that time.
Almost said it right.
I mean, it's exactly what it is. It's just to dilute and make things. I mean, it's bob and weave, man. That's all they're doing. Smokes and mirrors.
Well, I'll tell you, speaking of the folks that the left are terrified of, we've got a hell of a guest coming this week.
Yeah, we do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Big time.
Big time guest. He is our congressman. He is the firebrand himself.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I asked him a question. I left that in the speech cast.
Right.
Did you hear it at the end?
I did, yes.
And he expertly, you have to give him credit,
Uh-huh.
he converted it into an ad spot for his own podcast.
I like it.
So he's going to be in the driveway this week. We're not going to name the day because we don't want protesters. Well, that may be fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
we got stage your ground laws in Florida, so
yeah.
Yeah.
We all know that. I mean, everybody knows we record on Wednesdays.
I got a.
well, I mean, we live stream on Wednesday.
I got a garden hose literally right there.
Nice.
Come on my property, I'm gonna spray you down.
Oh,
I feared for my life. I feared for the congressman's life.
that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
But
Yeah, Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz will be in the driveway this week, confirmed.
Yep, confirmed in the driveway.
Yes, but we are recording that. That
Right.
will not be live streamed.
Correct.
We'll record that, and I will try to have that out Thursday morning
Sweet.
or Friday.
He's got good hair.
Yeah,
Just-
just good hair. Yeah.
I noticed that through the pictures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does, man. I mean, and you know that picture that I had with him, that I took with him up there, and that's the first, other than Shane Abbott. I take pictures of Shane because I like Shane's my buddy. I took pictures with him, and I said, "All right, we used to not endorse anybody on the podcast, but I'm going to officially endorse you right now with this picture."
Tell you what, we went to the DeSantis rally in Freeport at the Horsepower Pavilion, which Kate and her team did an amazing job.
Yeah,
And I don't know how many people were there, but it had to be 1,000 or more.
Yeah,
At
it was
least.
packed. Yeah, there was a
I
lot of
mean,
people.
it was people were still filing in. Like after he was talking, he was 30 minutes late. Well, not late, but 30 minutes after the announced start time.
right.
I mean, it was crazy.
It was
Then he
crazy.
went on for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like I mean, he just
hit
like
everything.
yeah, like nonstop. Like, pow, 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 pow.
Yeah, I fully expected a 20, 30-minute thing and him to move on and get out of there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He came and shook the corn, man. He laid
did.
it down.
He did. And I was standing in the back with the dog, letting him walk around for a minute. And I heard a couple that were leaving. The guy's like, "I really don't want to leave." And I was like, "We gotta get back to kids," you know. Like,
Babysitter's too
I don't think,
expensive.
I don't think anybody was expecting to go that long, but it was a good one.
Yeah,
Liked
yeah,
it a
it
lot.
was.
So
Yeah,
So Elon took over,
he did, man.
and he's
He's
that's
a wrecking
another
ball,
hammer
man.
time. He's literally taking a wrecking ball to it. So he fired the CEO, CFO, and the lawyer in charge of content fairness or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Are you the one that decided to censor the story on the Hunter Biden laptop? Yes, I am. You're fired.
Yeah. I love it.
well,
Goodbye.
And then he's got a team of Tesla engineers like
Working on the algorithm.
working on like
I've
making-
noticed, like I posted just in jest because I did a promotion for the gig we were playing yesterday. Usually when I post something to Twitter, and I have over 1,000 followers, I'm lucky if I get one like or one share, 2 shares or whatever. So I post this thing. And just jokingly, I wonder if Elon taking over means I'm not shadow banned and get a few more likes. And I legit, not saying that that's necessarily he's worked that quickly, but on that post, let me pull it up so I can see here. I mean, I've had at least 14 people view it.
Well, I told you guys this story. I have multiple Twitter accounts, which everybody knows.
Yes.
But I have one that's just for football.
Right.
So there's no politics involved. I follow fantasy, college, just the sports stuff. And I don't really interact, except I'll do some start-sit questions from my fantasy team. That's about it.
Right.
Well, a couple weeks ago, there was that shooting at a high school game, and that was in my feed because a lot of the football people kind of tweeted because it was a high school football game. And somebody and I read the comments, somebody in the comments said, something negative about the GOP and it's their fault.
Right.
So for the first time ever, I responded to a political post on there.
Right.
And my first response was just 2 words: false dichotomy. It's all I put. Calling out this person's argument.
Right.
28,000 impressions.
Wow.
freaking massive amount of people. It was a huge conversation I had back and forth with people, just debating the whole gun thing.
Yeah.
And defending the fact that it has nothing to do with the GOP. You guys know the argument. And every one of my tweets had multiple impressions, like thousands and thousands of impressions. So I go back to my Dan Matichero political one.
Right.
And like I'll go on purpose, I'll go on to like a CNN thread or something and just say something just to try to spark something. 3 impressions. So I absolutely 100% know I've been ghost banned, shadow banned,
right.
whatever you want to call it. I guess ghost banned is where they just can't see you at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when I reply to some far left idiotic tweet, nobody on there sees it except for my followers.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed, because I read a lot on Twitter, but I don't interact. But I've started to like stuff more.
Yeah.
And the more things I like that would go against what Twitter wants, like when I do post something, there's just no engagement.
Well, likes and you do retweet. I've seen those kind of things. Yeah. They.
But I'm not on there doing 15, 25 tweets a day. I'm not, Jack Posobiec or some of these folks that are just firing tweets off nonstop.
Yeah, but still, I mean, on that, the one that I use to promote the show, my personal one, and then the one I use to engage on Twitter, I have, I don't know, a couple hundred followers.
Right.
My football one, I have 64 followers. And it's only people who are Dolphin fans that follow me back.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
So just the difference, it's like less than half the followers on that one, and I got so much more engagement. So what's happening. Hopefully Elon will come in and just undo all that stuff.
Well, yeah, and I think everybody's got to calm down. Like, it's a big company. There's lots to do.
That's right.
Like, I think
you got to go unravel all that shit.
Yeah, I was listening to something. They were, like, expecting, Trump to be back on the platform.
And some dude with a fake Trump account came out and said, "I'm back." And he's selling T-shirts. I mean, he's probably killing it on the T-shirt sales. But
I heard on a podcast a good way for Twitter to monetize a bit better. Like, let Donald Trump back on the platform, and it's $2 to get him to reply to any of his tweets. Because all the blue check leftists love to get into Twitter and Trump's replies, and
they'll just turn it into Trump trying to make money off of the.
But this is for Twitter.
No, I know, but the people will turn it into
Trump,
because they accuse Trump of fundraising off of everything. It's like, well, you're running if you're gonna run,
right? Yeah,
everything's fundraising, literally everything. And by the way, the advertisers are fundraisers for you, Twitter and everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, what else are we going to talk about this week?
Man, we're going on our live stream this week. Unfortunately, we're still working on upgrading the technology. So we would love to live stream Matt Gaetz, but because of our technology limitations, we can't do that this time. Hopefully, in the near future, we'll be able to have our guests on the live stream. But during our live stream this week, we're going to discuss our election predictions and maybe even offer some endorsements for the very first time on the Driveway Liberty podcast. And we'll go over some state level stuff. I think we should stay out of the local stuff. I think that's been our philosophy here lately, is to try to stay out of that best we can.
I don't think there's any local stuff on the ballot besides the tax.
Just
the sales tax.
Yeah.
I mean,
we did a whole show on that.
Done a whole show on that, and for those of you that watch and wonder why we haven't done more local stuff, in all honesty, from a selfishness standpoint, our listenership actually goes down. And with what we're trying to do with this podcast, we're trying to reach more people and expand it so we can all move into doing this for a living instead of as a hobby.
And so we can get 4 people on the show on camera doing a live stream.
Right, yeah.
We need to pay for that equipment.
Mm-hmm.
We've got things to pay for and things to do, and so the more viewers we have, the more opportunities we have for sponsorships. And speaking of that, I had a potential sponsor that we are super excited about
Awesome.
reach out to me yesterday about a product that we've actually discussed on this show from a local company.
Is it a strip joint?
It's not a strip joint. It's
Oh.
not Sammy's.
Oh man, do a live remote there.
But we've recorded on location for one of the businesses a part of this group. And we go to meetings there quite often, or events there.
Yeah.
And they've got a product they've finally brought to market. And they reached out to me yesterday about doing a podcast about the product. And I said, y'all ought to just be title sponsors.
Right.
And they said, hell yeah. And
10 grand an episode. That's cheap.
Well, I mean, we've already published our rates, but
Yeah, that was a joke.
But so we're going to reach out to them, and hopefully we will have our title sponsor on board, which I think kind of coincides with the driveway mentality.
If it happens, it's literally the perfect.
It is the perfect
title sponsor.
Yeah,
it fits so well.
Yeah,
absolutely it does. So we've got that going on. I mentioned elections. Man, we were in the short row. Speaking of elections, we're a week and a half out.
Yeah.
So if you are conservative and liberty-minded and not a rhino or a liberal, we encourage you to be sure to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you are
I think I read
I encourage you to stay home.
that Republicans are supposed to vote on the 8th and Democrats on the 9th. Is that correct?
I think that's accurate. Yeah, I think they've split it up
think they
this year
changed
to
it up.
I
prevent
actually
any.
think that's what happened in 2020.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened in 2020.
Well, what are you guys going for Halloween? What's your?
I'm kind of behind.
I am too. I'm actually going to leave here and go carve pumpkins with my daughter.
I don't know.
And I don't feel like
Then
it.
you're gonna be a referee.
Well, I went to the Halloween party last night, and I dressed as a high school football.
Did you take the
Sure.
damn whistle with
I
you?
did take the whistle.
Yeah,
I did. I only blew it twice.
well, that's good.
That's
Once
two
indoors,
times too many.
which was
Yeah.
painful to everyone around me.
Yeah, that's still 2 times too
Well,
many.
I think my Halloween costume will be a surprise to everybody this year.
This is gonna
Big
be Bucky's
surprise.
outfit.
Bucky's one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. All right. So no, it's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise at all.
Not surprised.
I actually, I don't really have a costume unless I do the Viking thing for the 4th time. I did Beetlejuice, I think, last year.
You know what I think I'm gonna do this year? Usually I put a table out in the front of the house, tiki torches, and hand out candy. I think this year I'm gonna get a pillowcase and just walk around.
Are you?
Pretend like I'm trick or treating. Well, we've got people in our neighborhood that literally have bars,
Yeah.
and I never get to do that.
Right.
So I think this year I'm gonna be on offense
I like
on
that.
Halloween as opposed to,
On
sitting at
defense?
home giving candy. I'll probably put a table out there with a bowl and say, "Help yourself."
That
It'll
shit'll be gone in like
5
15 minutes,
'cause,
man.
Yeah.
We did that one year, and I walked 3 doors down for a few minutes and came back, and it was gone. I don't know.
I think I'll just set this camera like on the table.
say you're on. Put a note. You're on camera.
You're on
take
camera.
one.
Only take one.
But they're in costumes.
I know where you live.
Did y'all see the meme? And we're getting in the short. We still have a few minutes left, but did y'all see the meme? It wasn't really a meme. It was the lady got a note from the school saying your kids are welcome to wear the costume parties, but no masks.
Yes. No mask.
Yeah. Now you
Because
you take that stance.
It curbs the learning process.
Yeah, it
is what they
curbs
say.
the learning process.
Or hampers the learning process, whatever the word was.
Yeah. That's right.
You learn from your mistakes, right?
Mm.
Got to be positive on that.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
learned from their mistakes. They
Let's-
realize that masking kids
Well,
is not a
they-
good thing.
Everything to do with COVID is polling so bad. Like Charlie Crist tried to pin DeSantis down. Kathy Hochul tried to run away from all of her COVID stuff. Like Gretchen
Right.
Whitmer.
She's in trouble.
Yeah.
Both of them are. Whitmer's in trouble too.
Yeah,
You got
wait,
Obama
wait,
out there
hold
stumping
on,
for.
hold
Sorry,
on.
man.
Our-
Got
they
excited.
got to watch our live stream
Oh, that's true.
to get our election predictions.
Mm.
Well, no, I just said they were in trouble.
Yeah. And then
Obama's
started
out
to
there.
expand on it.
Obama's out there stumping
Yep. For Whitmer.
for Whitmer and then gets heckled.
Yeah.
And then can't get the crowd under control. Hey, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Hold on. This is what I'm talking about. It's like nonstop. It's like Obama. Nobody cares about you anymore.
Nope, he's irrelevant.
Nope.
Yeah.
Glad I didn't vote for him twice.
Now, did y'all see that video of him doing the speech?
Yeah.
Is that legit?
The one where everybody's
Yelling like
Chanting
I think
FJB?
I think that's edited.
that's from the one of the, it's like the Philadelphia, was it the Phillies baseball game?
Maybe.
It was, maybe it was an Eagles game. It was from a sporting event. I watched the actual one where it was one guy that was heckling him,
Right.
basically interrupting him, asking questions. Same thing that they do at,
Yeah.
Summer of Love. They did, Black Lives Matter did that at every freaking political outing. They even did it to Bernie Sanders.
Right.
But yeah, so the actual video that had happened was him, like, nobody saying F Joe Biden. Literally, it's him trying to get the crowd back engaged into what he's talking about.
Right.
And nobody would.
Yeah.
Well, that's also a blessing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not for.
Well, that's all his people too. It was a Whitmer rally,
Mm-hmm.
Gretchen Whitmer,
right.
and it didn't work. So we were talking about Twitter earlier. There's some other indications that that good things are on the way, or at least fair things are on the way. Joe Biden, from his @POTUS account, put a tweet out
Right.
that said, "Let me give you the facts. In 2020, 55 corporations made $40 billion, and they paid zero in federal taxes. My Inflation Reduction Act puts an end to this." Motherfucker got fact checked
Yeah, dude.
on Twitter. So the fact check reads, out of the 55 corporations the tweet referenced, only 14 had earnings greater than $1 billion and would be eligible under Biden's tax law. God, they just lie.
Yeah.
They just lie.
Yep. Well, I'm interested in talking to Gaetz. Something's got to happen. There's got to be more than some hearings. And
I got some good questions for you.
I've also got some viewer questions, and if you're a Patreon supporter and you would like for us to ask
You'll go to the front of the line. Let's pick
Congressman Gaetz a question, you will definitely go to the front
I've
of the
got
line.
a viewer question. Yeah.
Yeah, so any
something
viewer
else.
questions, and we'll be officially announcing this tomorrow via, a graphic on the Facebook pages and Twitter, and asking for questions. So if you're a Patreon supporter, you have my email, you have our email address. Shoot us an email and say, hey, I'd love to hear his take on this or that. And I know there are a lot of people out there that, because of the way the media runs, that don't know that whole pedo thing has been put to rest.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, when I posted my picture of myself and Gaetz, a friend of mine messaged me and said, I need to talk to you about this. So I immediately sent her a message, even though I'd had lots of beers and it was my birthday.
I saw that, yeah.
And I was like, what's up? I said, if it's the underage chick thing, that's done.
Right.
The media hadn't told you that, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What else? And then she started touting this other stuff that wasn't even federally related. And I was like, well, he has no control over that. So he has no business stating an opinion on it. So what else? Then she quoted something else. I've seen this, this, and this. I said, well, send it to me. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
So, but he'll be on his show, and he's a very, you know what, he has changed my opinion of him a little bit. Of course, I didn't know much about him. I mean, if I'm being honest, and but the more I've gotten to know him, the more I like him, and if nothing else, I like the fact that he is a wrecking ball, and he's not backing down to the establishment.
Yeah.
On either side of the aisle.
On either side, yep.
Yep.
And that's exactly what I think we need, right, wrong, or indifferent. We need somebody that's going to go in there and be like shrapnel and just tear the place down so it can be built up properly and the right things happen. So we've got a minute left. What you guys, got anything else to say?
No, we're good. I'm good.
All right, cool. Well, be sure to tune in this week to all of the podcasts. We'll have our Evergreen from last week out tomorrow. as well as some other announcements, and we will also have our audio cast with Matt Gaetz later this week, and our live stream on Wednesday at 7:30. So, guys, thanks so much for tuning in to the First Look. We'll see you this week in the driveway.
You